Hello, my name is Eujin Kim, but people call me Jini. And today I'll be talking about my 4-piece collection called Identity. All 4 pieces are done in pencil and on 24 by 18-inch paper. And in total, I spent over a year on all my pieces. My first piece, called Wide-Eyed, is about my childhood, where I distinctly remember my curiosity for frogs and interest in dollhouses. In the center of the piece, there are unnaturally wide eyes, almost artificially so. I intentionally made it so they were the boldest and darkest part of my piece in order to draw the viewer's attention to the fact that despite those eyes being on my face, they do not belong there. In the past, I was discriminated against for my race, and it made an impact on my childhood and my self-esteem. I remember having pulled my eyes in the mirror and wishing I had green irises instead of brown. I remember changing my name so that people had a version where they could pronounce it properly, or so that I could simply be more likable. And just like how I used to play with my eyes in that bathroom mirror so long ago, I also wanted to play with the idea of visibility, or invisibility, what is remembered and what is erased and forgotten. And I regret that these are the most prevalent memories of my childhood, rather than ones filled with joy. It shows how negative experiences shape somebody as much as, or possibly even more, than their positive ones. My next piece, called Big Feet, is a representation of the experience of being an outcast. Inside the shoebox, there are 2 smaller shoes. They're relatively the same size and are meant to be of hair. This is because in both cross-country and track and field, runners are divided up into 2 in order to train for their races. The runners depend on their partner to train, improve, and push themselves forward. Yet, if you direct your attention to the top of the shoebox, there is a single pair alone. In my previous and even current season of my 2 sports, I felt that I didn't have a set partner like everyone else. I was constantly alone, or at best, a replacement for when someone important wasn't there. And it wasn't until I proved myself that I finally felt that I had a place on the team that I had been participating in for the past 2 years. And now I feel pressure, dread, and fear from the fact that I could very well become a replacement once again if I don't continue to prove myself. My third piece, City of Gold, is my most recent creation, inspired by the song and artist Fish Inside a Birdcage. I created dynamic cityscapes that give the viewer a sense of foreboding. Its intimidating nature balances nicely with the carefree and easygoing nature of the fish inside the image. The goldfish are stuck in a place where they do not belong, yet are able to immerse themselves in a world in which they're outsiders and make it their own. The fish's adaptability with their surroundings and the flexibility of their bodies interacting with the rigid cityscapes creates an intriguing image, which makes the viewer wonder if the goldfish are truly the guests or if the city is really the host. Are they up below or above water? Growing up, I was a guest. I hopped from school to school, and I lived in so many different places. And every time, I was introduced to a new audience of children, where I had to pick and choose which parts of my personality to reveal or conceal in order to entertain, and use their amusement to hide the fact that I was an imposter. I felt that I didn't have a place where everyone else did. And every time I felt that I had finally had a grasp on these rules and that I was finally able to fit in without entertaining, I was relocated once again to a new school with a different audience and a different set of rules to follow, an outsider once more. I have always felt like a fish out of water, always out of my depth. In fact, even on the stage, I feel like I'm out of my depth. Yet, even as I stand here now, I see that I've changed. Because my experience with being an imposter has transformed me from a fish to a chameleon. And now I own a palette of traits, personality traits, that I use not to entertain but to paint myself with in order to camouflage. I'm able to adapt and assimilate myself into any environment. And I'm too familiar with the sets of rules thrown in my direction to follow. And even when I stumble sometimes, I'm able to get back up on my feet because I'm so used to falling down. Just like now. And now, any birdcage can become a city of gold. My last creation is called Impact, and it represents my future, or rather, the future that I hope for. I want to further my appreciation of the arts and my skills at Parsons School of Design, my dream school. However, my passion for art clashed with my fear of failure. And I felt conflicted on whether to choose easy approval or my ambitious dreams. And my conflict is shown through the struggle of the large outstretched palm as it ultimately breaks both the surface of the water and the grip of the other submerged hands, leading to my point. I am a future impact. I plan on influencing society the same way it affected me. It forced me to change and adapt to my surroundings. So with my art and the messages I convey through it, I plan on rippling through and making society change so that it suits the people like me who live around it instead of inside it. And no matter my insecurity, my stumbles, my falls, the pressure, I'm willing to overcome all of it, and I'm confident that I will, if it means my art will become the splash that the world didn't know it needed. I hope this talk had an impact on your viewpoint of a teenager's life, and I greatly appreciate all of you listening. Thank you for your time.